12:35 after having a 10-4 loss to the A's yesterday. Randy Vasquez will be on the mound for the Pods with Osvaldo Bido set to go for the A's. Tatis and Cronenworth are out of the lineup today after both getting injured yesterday, and Jackson Merrill was placed on the 10-day injured list as well. And Luka Doncic and the Lakers will be making his return to Dallas tonight as they take on Anthony Davis and the Mavs. This will be Anthony Davis' first time playing the Lakers since being traded. Both teams have massive playoff positioning on the line. That game tips at 4:30. The Lakers are currently 4.5-point favorites. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Check the clock.
What time is it?
It's high noon.
Yoo-hoo! I'll make you famous.
The day is half over. Now it's time to enter the Fletch Zone.
Yeah, let's get it going on a Wednesday here on San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long, live and local from now until 2 o'clock. John and Jim will take over then. Plenty to get to today. We got a couple guests coming up on the show. Allen Sliwa is going to talk some Lakers, some Luka ejection coming up at 1:30. Mike Abram, who runs a couple different companies within the PGA Tour, is going to be joining us at 12:30 to talk about the Masters, preview it, maybe get some betting advice for you as we get going here on a Wednesday. But let's start with those San Diego Padres. Yesterday, there was a very specific moment in this show where I can point out to where I said we got to count our wins when we can get them. And the Padres were the number one team in baseball record-wise, number one team in baseball winning percentage-wise. And you got to take that win when you get it, man. So the Padres got it, and that was great. And then yesterday happens. Fernando, injured. Jackson Merrill, 10-day IL. Jake Cronenworth, injured during the game. I know that Mike Shildt said we're not worried about it. I know that Mike Shildt said both of these guys are short-term. How many times has Mike Shildt said something along the similar lines? I can remember back to spring training and think of Yu Darvish that was also not worried about arm fatigue. That turned into something else entirely. So I'd be lying if I was sitting here saying a guy in Fernando Tatis Jr. who's playing like an MVP through the first 10 games of the season, I'm not worried about a shoulder that has been surgically repaired that now has quote-unquote irritation after a swing that dislodged it or something and then sliding into third base, hurting it further. I'm worried about Jake Cronenworth, who got hit in the ribs pretty hard in Chicago, and then yesterday takes a swing and can't even take 2 steps out of a batter's box. I'm worried about those guys who are a big part of the Padres core, a big part of the reason they got to the best record in baseball early on, and I am worried about those guys, who neither of whom are in the lineup today. That was a worrisome game yesterday as the Padres lose 10-4. The loss, I could care less about. But the loss of those 3 guys for however long they're out, for however long Jackson Merrill's hamstring is actually bothering him, for however long Tatis's shoulder is irritated, for however long Jake Cronenworth, who just took a couple of steps out of the batter's box and collapsed, however long those guys are out, I'm worried. Does that sound fair, Sammy?
Yeah, I'm more worried about the pitching staff. Dylan Cease, that one was a rough performance because we know that even if they're out for a little bit, Jackson Merrill, 10 days, Jackson Merrill's been raking, and same thing with Tatis, obviously. Got to give Cronenworth a lot of love. He's been playing really well. So, yeah, it sucks for the next immediate future, but at the same time, when those guys get back, it doesn't sound like it's a long-term injury, and, you want to be precautionary.
Well, it never sounds like a long-term injury with the Padres, Sammy.
That is true. But I'm a little concerned with, again, one game. We're not going to overreact, but Dylan Cease has not really been money. His second outing was really good. His first outing, I'm going to put that a little bit more on Mike Shildt. I was at that game. It seems like he left him in a little too long, but he did give up 4 runs. And then last night was just getting blasted. And I know it's a minor league ballpark, but it was his sinker wasn't really on. His pitches just felt a lot of flat. And I don't know right now if, you're looking at the back end of the rotation, and we're going to see that starting today with Vasquez, and then we're going to see the rest of the week. But Cease and King, while Darvish is out, have to be playing like aces. There's no room for negotiation. They have to be your 2 aces, and then hopefully you get some really nice spot performances from Vasquez, who started the season well. Pivetta, who I think will bounce back after a kind of second rough outing. But and knowing, I don't think you can really trust Kyle Hart, but Dylan Cease can't have outings like that again. I'm not saying Dylan Cease sucks. Dylan Cease is a very good player, and I expect him to get back on track. But at the same time, it's a little alarming how he got really touched up by an A's lineup that isn't that scary.
Everyone hear that? Sammy just said Dylan Cease sucks.
I said he doesn't suck.
Today, 12:35, the Padres will play again. It's getaway day in Sacramento. Luis Rise sliding into the leadoff spot. Sammy, you spoke that one into existence.
Yes, we pushed it out on social media yesterday. Mike Schultz listening to the brain trust.
No, Fernando Tatis Jr. re-injured his shoulder that's been surgically repaired. That's what's happening here, Sammy. You spoke that into existence. Manny Machado's in the lineup. Bogarts is in the lineup. Gavin Sheets is in the lineup. Other than that, it's not the regulars. Gonzalez, Iglesias, Hayward, Lockridge, Maldonado, and then Vasquez on the mound. You said the odds are doing something funky today, Sammy. What's going on with that?
It's odd. So the Padres open as minus 145 favorites. Now, this line, usually they wait to put baseball odds out right till after the game, considering for injuries and stuff. And they were still favored despite Merrill being out and Tatis and Cronenworth. I know the line shifted when they were officially put out, but they're all the way down to plus 125 underdogs, which is kind of crazy to me. They would flip that much. They went to plus 105 about 20 minutes ago, and then it just jumped. So someone must have dropped some money on the A's.
I mean, outside of Arise, Bogarts, Machado, and I guess Gavin Sheets, the majority of these guys aren't playing every day. I think that's what shifted the line. The Padres got a little backup day going on with Vasquez on the mound. So we'll see how that goes, man. Obviously hopeful for it here. Hopefully that the guys who got injured yesterday, Tatis and Cronenworth, they are injuries not to be worried about, like Mike Schultz so calmingly said after the game. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully it's not a Jackson Merrill situation where it's, he'll be back in a couple days to the 10-day IL. Unfortunately, I think that is where this might be going. So we'll see. Not going to make any predictions here like that. Sammy did, however, speak into existence the Tatis injury followed by Luis.
Let's not put that out there that I'm speaking into existence the Tatis injury.
All right. We're going to do something we do every single day here. In the first segment, we go around the top 3 stories in the world of sports. Sammy Long, hit that button.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
Lots of ways to communicate with the show. We'd love it if you did it on YouTube. At San Diego Sports 760 is streaming live every day from noon to 6 with this show, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long, and with John and Jim a little bit later on. You can also follow us on X at Fletch and Sammy. Follow us on X, and we'll give you a follow right back. Sammy, where are we starting today with hour 1?
Due to the injuries for the Padres, who has to step up in the Merrill absence for at least a week and a half? And if Tatis and Cronenworth are out longer, who is the number one Padre that needs to step up?
I look to the veterans. I almost always do. I look at that top 3 in the lineup today. Luis Ariz, Manny Machado, and Xander Bogaerts. The 3 of those guys need to step up and carry the ship. Look, Manny's been playing pretty well this year. He's had multi-double games twice now so far this season, hit a homer yesterday. Manny Machado is playing some good baseball. He needs to elevate even further. Xander Bogaerts, I'm looking at you, man. You are one of, or maybe the second highest paid Padre on this lineup. You got to step it up in a big way. And Luis Ariz, continue to do what you've been doing. You're starting to look a lot better. However, did you see Kevin Acee? He wrote about the blue freeze that Luis Ariz is getting, where all of a sudden the umpires are kind of freezing him out. It's very interesting. I don't know that I'd heard that term before.
Yeah.
But Luis Ariz, who I guess is very friendly with the umpires and always chatting them up a little bit, they're just kind of turning the shoulder to him, giving him the blue freeze.
Yeah, Luis Ariz still hasn't struck out, which is cool. It's popping up on Twitter right now. Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to go Bogaerts. Bogaerts, time to earn that contract. Bogaerts, you're going to have to step up. If Merrill and Tatis have been really carrying this team for a long time, to your point, Machado's been playing very well. But I think you need to look to Bogaerts, want to see that contract. And then this is a great opportunity for Gavin Sheets. It's a great opportunity. He's been playing really well. The first, don't say it.
What's his name?
Don't say it.
Say it for me, Sammy.
Gavin Sheets.
Gavin what Sheets?
Freaking the Sheets.
There it is.
But it's a great opportunity for him. I'm sure he's going to get slid up in the lineup. Really looking forward to him. And you're talking about a guy, again, we go back to 28 years old, was a high pick from the White Sox. A lot of untapped potential there. I'm excited to see what Gavin Sheets can do with the team with them out.
All right, story number 2.
All right, story number 2. Luka Doncic thrown out of the game last night when the Lakers were winning 108-107 against Oklahoma City Thunder. How do we solve fan interaction with players on the court?
Is this a fan problem or is this a Luka problem? I think that's really where you got to get to. Look, there have been times in the past where inexcusable behavior happens from fans. But guess what? Fans got put on the sideline and given alcohol. Mike Costa always used to say, you want to see instant a-hole? Give a fan a drink. And that's what you turn into. You give them a voice by putting them on the sidelines. I would love to get up on a soapbox and give this huge speech about how fans need to be better behaved. But guess what, man? It's not going to happen. NBA players, baseball players, football players, sometimes you just got to let stuff roll off your back. And no, it's not easy, but understand that karma is a real thing too. So Luka turning around and yelling at a fan last night. What'd he say?
That's not okay for FCC Airways.
But it was something with an F.
Yeah.
Okay, and the ref thought he said it to the ref thought he said it to the ref. Luka clearly said it to the fan. There was a bit of a misunderstanding. But here's the deal. We're never going to stop fan interaction at basketball games until you pull fans off the court. So owners, are you willing to lose that extra probably close to $700,000 per night based on those seats in order to make this a more loving environment?
I'm not saying fans can't talk. I don't have a problem with that. Fans can talk all they want. But if you're going to allow fans to chirp and you're going to allow fans to not get kicked out, Luka Doncic said this after the game. He said, I've never had a fan thrown out. We've seen Russell Westbrook do this, and I've never done it. But it is BS, in my opinion, that fans can sit there with alcohol and say whatever the hell they want. And the second a player says something back, it's like tee him up, throw him out. I mean, basketball.
Yeah, but the ref thought that Luka was talking to the ref.
Yeah, but the ref needs to know better. I mean, that's insane that a game that is that close, that is against two of the possible best teams in the Western Conference, and you throw out the best player. I don't care what he says. The fact that, of course, the fans chirping him all night. He hits a tough shot over SGA where he spins around and on the end of the shot clock, and he says something to the fan. And then he gets thrown out. And then what's the craziest part is the next play down, Vanderbilt blocks Caruso, sends him in the next week. Then he calls a T, and he doesn't even say anything. He just looked at Caruso. And then this JT Orr is his name. Then he misses a call, and Austin Reeves getting slapped on the hand. Tony Brothers has to make the call from the other side of the court.
So the refs are out to get the Lakers. That's what we're
I'm not saying that.
On?
I'm just saying last night, I'm not a guy that the refs are out to get anybody. I just think that last night was a terribly officiated game, and the fact that Luka is saying something to a fan and gets thrown out in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes to go is just beyond me.
Do you see what Shaq had to say about this?
I did not see what
so
the big fella
Shaq kind of went through a thing about Luka Doncic and went into his past a little bit. And he said, whether he deserves it or not, Luka has this reputation among NBA officials of somebody who complains about every single play. Somebody who will always look back and say something to a ref on his way out. So some refs are just ready to tee him up or give him an ejection, even if it's just like that last night. And
right.
F you, dude.
Well, we've seen this with Draymond Green.
Right, of course.
Draymond Green has a reputation. Refs are looking for the second Draymond Green says something, throw him out of the game.
So Shaq was kind of saying, even though it was directed at the fan, the ref hears that it's going to be a quick trigger because Luka has that reputation. So a little bit of it has to be put on Luka. All right, story number 3.
Story number 3, tonight, Lakers playing the Mavs. AD said he has no emotion playing his old team in the Lakers, and Luka rips into the Mavs for questioning his work ethic. How are we feeling about this game? What do we think is going to happen?
You got long shots coming up at 12:45, Sammy. I'm hoping there's an Anthony Davis over in long shots.
There's going to be a couple entries from this game tonight.
Good.
This might be a 3-game same leg parlay.
Dude, it's fun. This is good. Like the NBA should hype this one up a little bit because you got some serious storylines on either side. You can have a little bit of a WWE atmosphere tonight. Because if Anthony Davis is saying stuff like this, does anyone actually believe him?
No, you should see him say it too. He said no emotion. Next question.
BS, dude. Just that is emotional. Just that refusing to talk is emotional. So yeah, this is gonna be fun tonight. I would take AD more than anything.
Yeah, this is gonna be a really fun one. First time, Luka's played the Mavericks, but not in Dallas. I mean, you have the fans are probably gonna be cheering Luka, but then you got Nico Harrison sitting there. A lot of emotions. It's a big game for both teams. Lakers, if they win 2 or 3, clinch that number 3 spot. And the Mavs are currently sitting in the 10. They want to stay in the playoffs and jump Sacramento to get the home playing game. So this one's going to be fun tonight. I think we're going to see a lot of emotion out of these guys.
There are a couple moments I really love in this job, Sammy. One of them is like when we have a great conversation like this, right? Where we're talking about the Lakers, we're talking about stuff like that. The other one is when we get to really spoil our listeners. And we got a really, really good giveaway that we're going to tell you about in just a little bit. Of course, we have those Lakeside Rodeo tickets still. It's good for Thursday, April 24th, lakesiderodeo.com. But I just got word yesterday that we're adding a new prize into the heap. This is a fun one, man. This is something that I will for sure be attending. And so we'll tell you what that is coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by San Diego Zoo Safari Park.
A SIG alert for the westbound Coronado Bridge. All traffic stopped at mid-span. Eastbound side beginning to slow as you head toward mid-span. Westbound 78 past Sycamore. Caltrans has the right lane closed. You're slow from Rancho Santa Fe Road I'm Mark Zegan, San Diego traffic.
Change the way you see the world at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Depart from their new Safari Excursions Depot and embark on a once-in-a-lifetime experience you'll never forget. Plus, every adventure helps support wildlife worldwide. Plan your visit to the San Diego Zoo Safari Park today.
Download the PrizePicks app today. It's a daily fantasy sports app, the most popular daily fantasy sports app in North America. Download it today. Use promo code FLETCH, FLETCH. You're going to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 entry on PrizePicks. It is my favorite daily fantasy platform. I play it daily. I got a text last night around 8:30-ish in the evening. My mother won a lineup on PrizePicks. My mother won $150 last night on PrizePicks. Maybe she should have shared her picks with me and Sammy because we were both losers last night. Download PrizePicks today. Use promo code FLETCH. Get that $50 bonus when you play your first $5 entry, and you could start winning big. If you have these conversations on a regular basis about whether or not Anthony Davis is going to be going off tonight against his former team, you can turn those conversations into real cash with PrizePicks. Download it today ahead of tomorrow, which is one of the biggest golf events every single year. PrizePicks and golf go great together. Download PrizePicks today and run your game all season long when you use promo code FLETCH, FLETCH. Get that $50 bonus with your first $5 entry.
Consider Miramar Kitchen and Bath for your next kitchen or bathroom remodel. See why so many of your neighbors trust us and have experienced the expertise we offer to transform your spaces. Visit us at MiramarKitchenandBath.com. Contractor's license 657-333.
Hey, it's Big Rich. I used to deal with intense back pain. I couldn't play in the yard with the kids at times. Anti-inflammatories and physical therapy appointments didn't help. Then I discovered the Good Feet arch supports. They are game changers. Go to goodfeet.com or check out the Good Feet store locations in San Marcos, Carmel Mountain, or Mission Valley.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today by calling 844-844-iHeart. That's 844-844-iHeart.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is, you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business, and that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
From the very beginning, iHeart has believed in me.
Even now, I still get excited when I hear one of my songs playing on the radio.
Thank you, iHeartRadio, for honoring the truth I've fought for in my music.
Because we believe in the power of music. All your favorite artists, all in one place. The free iHeartRadio app.
Start your day with Dan Patrick.
How old is Vlad Guerrero Jr.? Because they gave him a 14-year, $500 million deal.
26 years old.
Look, I'm sure that they have their accountants and they do the math.
Baseball talk with Dan Patrick.
I just, for the life of me, could never give somebody a contract like that. 14 years. What could go wrong? 10 years. No, 5 years. Okay.
Weekdays at 6 a.m. San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
Hey, Dirty, what? Look at that girl right there. Oh, she make me say
Tonight, 6 o'clock, right here on San Diego Sports 760. It is SDFC Midweek Live. Here from the head coach, Mikey Varas, as well as interviews with players and coaches. Find out the latest club and MLS information hosted by Darren Smith. SDFC Midweek Live every Wednesday at 6 o'clock right here on your home for SDFC San Diego Sports 760. All right, coming up next week. I was a little early on this one, but we got a 2-week run of Hardy tickets to give away. He's going to be in San Diego on May 22nd at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. But starting next Monday for 2 weeks, we're going to have Hardy tickets to give away every single day on this show. Sammy, you look like you'd be a huge Hardy fan. You a big Hardy fan?
I I didn't know who he was until you texted me yesterday.
That is
but
shocking.
I'm sure he's fantastic and will be a great ticket to
I honestly thought I was a little too old for Hardy when I was first started listening to him, but I'm shocked that you don't know who he is because he's huge with your generation. But Hardy's like a blend between modern country and rock. He's awesome, dude. He's hilarious. That's going to be a huge concert out in Chula on May 22nd. Today, we still have those Lakeside Rodeo tickets to give away. April 24th, the Thursday, lakesiderodeo.com for tickets, but it's the 61st annual Lakeside Rodeo hosted at the Lakeside Rodeo grounds. 4 days of bull riding, steer wrestling, exciting events, and yours truly pouring beer for you out at the Coors Light tent out there. Can't wait for that. All right, as we move on with the day, obviously incredibly busy today with the Masters beginning tomorrow. All the press conferences started to come out. Hilarious audio from Brooks Koepka that will play you a little bit later on in the show. And the Masters dinner, which I believe was last night. You got Phil looking like an absolute serial killer. Like, I don't know what Phil Mickelson's done to his face, if there's any plastic surgery going on, but he looks terrifying.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Sir Nick Faldo, who's like 70 now, looks fantastic.
I'm surprised Phil's got all that money for plastic surgery after losing it all gambling.
I don't understand Phil. He looks like an alien at this point. He looks like a different person. He doesn't look like Phil anymore.
Yeah, he's a long shot. It's kind of funny how like golf, you can have people who are like of all age. You have like 25-year-olds playing. What's Phil, like 47 now?
No, older than that. Phil's at least 50.
Yeah, we'll look that up. But yeah, no, I can't wait for the Masters.
He's
tomorrow.
54.
I'm excited for your guy to come on next because I need some betting analysis and some long shot plays because you can win a lot of money betting on the Masters.
70470, start your message with team. We got a few texts early on in the show here. One from the 619. Predictions for the Padres injuries. Merrill is going to be out 2 to 4 weeks. Cronenworth out 2 to 3 months. Tatis out for the season. God, 619.
619 is not feeling optimistic.
No. Different 619 number says, Sammy, how can you say Cease sucks even though he does suck right now? Also, Cease needs to cut his hair and shave that beard. It's not working.
First off, I didn't say Cease sucks. I said he sucked yesterday, but I see what you're trying to do with the text there. I like it.
619 long shots was rough yesterday. Yeah, but we're not going to talk about yesterday.
Long shots was we need to steer the ship into calmer waters today.
We'll do it. All right, and let's talk about these Lakers because we kind of got into it a little bit. I got a couple texts during this last commercial break about people saying we need to learn from MJ in terms of fan interaction on the court, like Michael Jordan, who would always just let his play do the talking. Now, I'm curious in Luka Doncic's situation of last night where he turns around, says something to a fan. He says, F you, blank, to a fan. The ref thought he was saying it to him. Luka gets tossed out of the game, ejected. And then from that point on, the Lakers had a 1-point lead at that moment. And then from that point on, was it
29-12?
29-12. Mm-hmm. So obviously had a pretty big impact on the game. Now, Sammy, you got a tweet in the middle of the last commercial break. What'd that one say?
Vito, loyal listener. I got to pull it up here. But he basically said that he doesn't want to hear about refs because the Lakers got 17 more free throws. Let me respond to that. The Lakers have more free throws usually than most teams, because they're not a three-point shooting team, especially with the stats of when AD was still a Laker. And even now, the Lakers drive in a lot. It's changed a little bit since Luka's been there, but the Lakers get to the line a lot more than everyone else. This is why the Warriors historically always are one of the last in free throw percentages in the league, because they're just jacking up threes the whole time, so they don't really go inside. I'm not saying it's rigged. I'm not doing any of that BS. People going like, they're trying to. No.
On the rundown here, Sammy, you said Lake Show got effed last night with Luka ejection.
It was BS because when you see the direct impact that it had on the game, and I would be okay if he fouled out or something. But the fact that a game that was that electric, 108-107, the Lakers come back down 10 at halftime. It looked like Oklahoma City was going to pull away. They come all the way back. And then to see in such a tight game, one of the best, like I would be bummed out if Shea got thrown out. If SGA got thrown out of the game, the Lakers ended up winning, it'd be like, all right, like I'm happy the Lakers won, but at the same time, we didn't really get to see the matchup that everyone wants to see. It's all right. We'll see you here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be fun down the stretch. Between 3rd and 8th place right now in the Western Conference in the NBA, everyone is separated by 1.5 games.
So everyone, so the Lakers are 3, and then the Clippers actually just jumped the Nuggets. They're 4, Nuggets 5, and then the Warriors 6. Memphis 7, and then so they're all one game back at the Lakers. Now the Lakers have a tiebreaker against every single one of those teams based on record during the regular season, as well as Western Conference win percentage and record. And then Minnesota is actually 2 games back because they had Giannis and the Bucks had a crazy comeback last night, down like 25. But no, this if the Lakers win 2 or 3 over the weekend, they're playing Dallas tonight, playing Houston on Friday, Portland on Sunday. Don't know how much. Portland's out of the playoffs, and Houston has no reason. They're locked into the 2 seeds. They might be resting people.
I'm curious what the crowd looks like tonight out in Dallas, because the crowd,
it's going to be packed.
They love Luka. Like, they loved Luka the entire time he was there. They were pissed at Nico Harrison.
The cheapest ticket's $220 sit at the top.
I believe it. I'm surprised it's that low, to be completely honest, but I'm curious to see what the reaction is when Luka runs out onto the court last night. It's probably going to be huge cheers, right? But these are 2 teams battling for postseason position right now. Like, the Mavericks aren't complete. They're almost completely out of it.
They're going to be in the play-in because the Suns probably aren't going to catch them. But yeah, it's going to be an electric atmosphere. It's awesome. ESPN has it. Luka, I'm sure it's going to be very emotional. I mean, this is a guy who thought that his whole career was going to be spent in Dallas. Yeah, the fans they're giving out T-shirts. They're doing a whole ceremony for him. Nico Harrison
is he there tonight?
Huh?
Is he going to be there tonight, Nico?
I don't know. I mean, can you imagine?
There's going to be some booze if they show
him on the Jumbotron. I mean, this game is so fun because you have AD who wants to stick it to the Lakers and mess up their draft position, because I'm sure AD is like, screw the Lakers for trading him, and considering he helped the Lakers get a title, and then this with Luka. So this one's going to be really fun tonight.
All right, going to be a good one tonight. Can't wait for it. And I do believe you will hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760. So as we move on with the day, Mike Abram is going to join us next. Mike Abram is about as tied in with the golf world and professional golfers as you can possibly be. Just one day before the Masters, the perfect guest to have on. We're going to talk some Masters with Mike Abram coming up next at San Diego Sports 760.
Hey guys, it's John and Jim for our friends at the all-new Jamul Casino and Resort, the Players Place.
And at Jamul Casino, there's endless dining options that just got better at Tony Gwynn's. They're going over the top with crab, shrimp, dynamite salmon, and more. Plus, don't miss the carving station for those who like a little turf with their surf.
Don't forget about Monday Night Live, Smashing Easter Eggs. Join us every Monday in April for a chance to win big with 10 winners every hour at 7, 8, and 9 p.m. and a chance to win up to $25,000. The all-new Jamul Casino and Resort, the Players Place.
Every day, families with a hospitalized child find comfort at our San Diego Ronald McDonald House. Right now, you can help, all while giving yourself a chance to win big. The San Diego Giving Back Raffle is your chance to win an incredible multi-million-dollar Carlsbad Beach House, luxury vacations, high-end cars, and so much more. But more importantly, every ticket helps families stay together during life's toughest times. Visit sdraffle.com to get your tickets today. That's sdraffle.com.
These times of massive inflation have people just like you strapped.
As far as my debt, I was drowning in debt. My balances were never going down. I was making payments every month. It was just draining every resource I had.
The Debt Management Group can help. In the first free call, they will explain all the relief programs you may qualify for to get you out of debt fast.
They saved me thousands of dollars, especially in interest. I would have never paid off this debt without their help.
I felt like it was a burden lifted off my shoulders. It felt amazing, and I felt like I could actually see a future for me and my kids.
The sooner you call, the faster you can get the relief you deserve. It's free information on all the debt relief programs you qualify for, plus guaranteed confidentiality. Call 800-933-3470. That's 800-933-3470. Call now to find out about the best debt forgiveness, consolidation, modification, and settlement programs available. 800-933-3470. That's 800-933-3470.
Hey, it's Fletch on San Diego Sports 760. And if you're hearing my voice right now, your potential clients are too. Every second is an opportunity for you. Radio works. Let it work for you. Email our team at heythere@iheartradio.com. heythere@iheartradio.com.
And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Walking with friends, watering my plants, getting rest, breathing exercises. They don't just feel good. There's science-backed ways to help me heal from adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs. Toxic stress that can be caused by ACEs can impact your relationships and well-being. But there are so many ways to heal, and you don't have to do it alone. Trained pros can help. Learn more at livebeyondca.org.
You're going to want to sit down for this. The jumbo breakfast platter from Jack in the Box. No, seriously, it's so much food. There's French toast sticks, grilled sausage patty, hash brown, and scrambled eggs, all for just $3.99. Get all this and so much more at Jack in the Box.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door,
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey everyone, April is National Volunteer Month, and what better time to be a part of something big? Realize the Dream is rallying the nation to reach 100 million hours of service by Dr. King's 100th birthday in 2029. Every hour you give, every neighbor you help makes a difference. Whether it's volunteering at your local school, helping out at a food bank, or simply lending a hand to a friend in need, your actions matter. Let's build stronger communities and a better future together. Ready to make history? Head over to realizethedream.org and get started today.
San Diego Sports. Now.
This sport is sponsored by the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Padres back in action. First pitch is here in 5 minutes after having a 10-4 loss after the A's yesterday. Randy Vasquez will be on the mound for the Padres, with Osvaldo Bido set to go for the A's. Tatis and Cronenworth are not in the lineup after both getting injured yesterday. And Jackson Merrill's placed on the 10-day injured list. And Jalen Milroe accepted an invite to the draft. He's currently projected to go number 34 overall. Change the way you see the world at San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Depart from their new Safari Excursions Depot and embark on a once-in-a-lifetime experience you'll never forget. Plus, every adventure helps support wildlife worldwide. Plan your visit to the San Diego Zoo Safari Park today.
San Diego Sports 760. It's the Fletch Zone. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. Talking just about everything right now. We got Masters coming up tomorrow. Lakers with a huge game tonight out in Dallas. Padres playing right now. We will keep you updated on the score. They're actually about to have the first pitch of that game. Mike Abram was going to join us right now. We are going to move him back to 1 o'clock to talk some Masters. But a cool note here about the golf tournament that begins tomorrow. JJ Spawn, Xander Schauffele, Justin Hastings. All three of those guys in the field this year. Justin Hastings is an amateur. All three of those guys, San Diego State alum.
Hell yeah, man.
Just like you, Sammy.
Yeah.
Why aren't you playing Augusta tomorrow?
I wish I had the talent to be playing Augusta tomorrow.
Wouldn't if you could have that superpower just to be amazing at golf, like be incredible,
yeah.
That'd be pretty high up on my list.
Because again, I mean, everyone always says it, but you can play it forever. Like,
right.
If you're like an amazing basketball player, like that'd be awesome, or football player, but at some point you're not gonna be able to play that anymore. But
my dad's in his mid-60s. He won a tournament, senior tournament at Torrey Pines last year, 2 years ago.
He did? Oh,
yeah.
So he's a stick out there.
He's pretty freaking good, man. It's annoying to play with him because he doesn't hit bad shots.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't have crazy power, but he never has those big misses.
Yeah, see, I like up by Pete Fox used to be on this station.
That dude.
One of the greatest. He's a really good player. And I've gone and play with him, and I'll hit
Pete
a shot
Fox
like
is a damn liability, is what he is.
What?
That dude will say some stuff, man.
Oh yeah. Pete Pete's the best, but he's great. But like he'll hit a shot that if I hit that, I would be like, I'm quitting, I'm done for the day, like that's it. And then he'll be like cussing up a storm because he just missed it by a few. I'm like, there's levels to golf.
It is crazy. It gets described to you if you talk to somebody who's like crazy, stupid good at golf. They're no longer just happy with hitting the green. They're aiming at like a nickel-sized spot on the green.
Yeah.
Because they know that that's going to set them best up for a putt. And especially at a course like Augusta, you're not even necessarily aiming to get closest to the hole. You're aiming to get on the green where you have the best chance at a straighter putt because everything is so chaotic with those greens. It's going to be a lot of fun over the next couple of days. Can't wait for it. All right, as we kind of move on, Allen Sliwa is going to be joining the show coming up at 1:30 today to talk some Lakers. Mike Abram, we pushed to 1 o'clock today to talk some Masters. We will get you set there. The Padres lineup today is an interesting one. It's one that we have not seen anything close to it this season so far because they're dealing with some injuries now. Obviously, the Yu Darvish one has been to start the year, and Sammy and I both said it during spring training. Elbow fatigue 3 weeks before the season starts is not an acceptable thing to hear, and sure enough, Yu Darvish gets thrown on the IL. Jackson Merrill has a hamstring problem after remember that weird play at third base where he was a little gimpy, and then the next day we find out Jackson Merrill going on a 10-day IL. That's a problem. Last night, 2 more Padres go down. Fernando Tatis takes a swing where he kind of shakes up that shoulder that was surgically repaired, and then he slides into third base, tweaks it even further. Tatis not in the lineup today. Jake Cronenworth gets hit in the ribs a couple days ago in Chicago. Last night, takes a swing, can't even take 2 steps out of the batter's box.
That one looked worse than Tatis.
I think so too, man. But the Tatis one, that's on the surgically repaired shoulder that's already taken him on like 3 stents to the IL. Like, that's a problem for me. That's nervous time for me. So as we kind of move forward with this season, how long are you going to be without those guys? And it's no offense to Mike Schilt, I promise you, but I don't trust a word out of the Padres' mouth when they talk injuries.
Yeah,
we've just been fooled too many times
about injuries.
They're the worst about it, man. They'll tell you, oh, it's day-to-day, it's nothing. And then all of a sudden, the dude's on the 60-day IL. I'm not saying I'm predicting that to happen with any of these guys, but it is true. How many times do you have to get burned by the Padres before you realize, oh, something's up with this?
Well, and what sucks is we're not going to overreact because maybe Tatis is out for 2 games and he's back this weekend. Who knows? But if we're looking at massive injuries for some of the big time players on the Padres, I mean, it's a bummer because Tatis is with the suspension and injuries. We never really got to see a full season of Tatis, and it's such a shame because it's better for baseball when he's playing because he's that good.
We haven't had a full season period outside of COVID.
Right. So that was the shortened season. So Tatis, you want to see him out there. I mean, Merrill, it's a bummer, especially because the way that the NL West is so tight. There's not really any room for error. And I know people are going to go, it's so early. You're looking at standings and stuff.
I don't care. Wins today mean just as much as wins later
100%. And it's not a division where you can coast. Maybe there's one team that's so much better than everyone else. And if they lose the next 10 games, it's going to be fine. I mean, the Dodgers are on a 3-game losing streak. The Giants are right up there. The Diamondbacks won last night. They're 6-6. So they've been struggling a little bit, but I don't expect that to continue much longer. I mean, there are 4 teams. Yes, the Dodgers are the heavy favorite, and I believe that they're going to win the division. But there are 4 teams that could legit make a case to win this thing outside of the Rockies. And it's such a bummer that with all the amount of heat that's been on the Padres start the year and the amount of really big time play they've had, they need to take advantage of the A's the rest of the week in the Rockies because these are teams they should beat because they got the Cubs coming on Monday, and that's going to be a hell of a series.
And by the way, if I'm the Padres, I'm probably sitting down Fernando for the next few games against the Rockies too. You can't risk it, man. If that's a shoulder problem where it can continue to get worse, then you can't risk having him out there. We'll see what they do, but this is certainly not the right time to absorb 3 injuries like this to 3 of your better offensive performing pieces. And I might get some flack for saying that about Jake Cronenworth. He has been. He's one of the team
he's been playing very well this year.
He's been awesome.
But here's what we got to see. But Bogart's got to hit.
All right. We can't do play-by-play, but yeah, that is what we need to see. We need to see Xander step up in a big way, Manny step up in a big way, and Luis Arraez step up in a big way. Sammy on the text line, 949 number. If you don't go to the rodeo this year, the Chiefs will finish last place in the AFC West. Does that change your mind at all?
No, because I trust that Brett Veach and the boys are going to have it handled. Patrick Mahomes' revenge season incoming.
Yeah, I bet. Patrick Mahomes'
Rasheed Rice just got cleared today to run a route tree. Posted on Instagram. Very excited.
Here's my biggest problem. I'm actually a huge Rasheed Rice fan because I have him on Dynasty, so I kind of have to root for him.
Yeah. But hey, he's going to get you a lot of points, so feel free.
I think so too. We do have tickets to the rodeo, though. So even though Sammy will not be there, I will be there, and you can too. Win a pair of tickets good for Thursday, April 24th at the 61st Annual Lakeside Rodeo, hosted at the Lakeside Rodeo Grounds. You can enjoy 4 days of bull riding, steer wrestling, exciting events. Get tickets at lakesiderodeo.com. That is lakesiderodeo.com. Hang on for the next 2 minutes, and you'll have an opportunity to win those tickets at 877-767-4760. You got 2 minutes, and you can win those tickets to the Lakeside Rodeo. Sammy, before we get any further in the show today, long shots last night obviously was a bit of a bummer for all of us involved. Nothing went well for us last night.
No, we had a bad night. If you faded every pick we had, you would have won money.
Is that true?
Yeah.
You went 0 for 5?
Well, I think Robleski hit his over on strikeouts.
No, he was even.
Okay, he was even. That was the Hard did not hit. Cease did not hit. It was a bad night.
Oh, well, hopefully you got something good cooked up for tonight. Are you going all with this Lakers-Mavericks game?
There's going to be a couple picks there, but I'm going to surprise people. I don't know that Vegas wants you to take a couple lines in this game.
No, last night I do think we got into a situation where maybe both of us, I'll include myself in here because I was fine with you doing it, got a little bit cocky because we had been doing 3-person entries and we've been winning a lot. 4 out of 5.
So I went 5-legger.
So last night you go 5 and we got absolutely torched. Maybe are we back to 3 today, I would hope?
Yeah, we're gonna reel it back in a little bit. Again, ship going to calmer waters. Feeling very confident. We've still been on a heater recently. Last night we had a little bit of a cooling night, but hey, we got the NBA tonight, and the best is that we know these games really matter. So where certain players are going to be playing extremely hard. So we got a few things cooked up for you in the next segment.
Well, that's coming up next. We are going to get into long shots, and hopefully Sammy's going to make us all some money for tonight. If you want to win those Lakeside Rodeo tickets, now is the time to call 877-767-4760. You can head out to the Lakeside Rodeo grounds. I will be there on the Friday night. These tickets are good for the Thursday night, April 24th. LakesideRodeo.com for tickets. But if you're caller number 7 at 877-767-4760, you're going to the Lakeside Rodeo this year on the Thursday night, the 24th, and having a hell of a time too. Coming up next, long shots, Sammy Long, redemption for what happened last night. We'll also get you an update on the Padres score in 5 minutes at San Diego Sports 760.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the San Diego International Airport.
The police situation on the westbound Coronado Bridge seems to have concluded. Traffic looks to be moving again, and eastbound traffic, which was stopped in Coronado, also seems to be on the move again, too. So things are clearing up there. I'm Mark Zegan, San Diego Traffic.
San Diego International Airport is getting an upgrade. The new Terminal 1 opens this fall. Lots of elbow room, faster security lines, and more dining and shopping options are on their way. Check out all the upgrades at newt1.com.
All of those notifications can wait. This is your friendly lunchtime reminder from Kaiser Permanente that no matter how busy you are, it's important to stay active. A lunchtime walk is a great place to start. Kaiser Permanente San Diego has a variety of options to help you live healthier, including online tools, mobile apps, video appointments, and 29 medical facilities. You can count on us. Visit kp.org/San Diego. Kaiser Permanente, for all that is San Diego, for all that is you.
About this for over 30 years. West Automotive Group has made getting your vehicle serviced or repaired easy, because who's got time for this? Take it to a place where their philosophy is never to put money ahead of people. And some of the unbelievable ways that they care for customers include a transmission CertiCare diagnosis by a certified transmission expert, free shuttle rides to or from work or your house, or a low-cost rental vehicle if you need it. Let's be reminded of what great service feels like. 5 locations to serve you. WestAutomotiveGroup.com.
Hello? I'm a Marine.
No matter how you served.
My buddies from the Army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
No matter what you're going through.
I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job. I feel so stuck.
We are here for you. If you or a veteran in your life is experiencing thoughts of suicide, dial 988, then press 1 to reach the Veterans Crisis Line.
Are your money skills total trash? Well, you are not alone. Personal finance ignorance is as American as apple pie. But don't fret. The How to Money podcast is here to help you improve.
Think, Matt, if your emergency fund was invested, especially given the volatility we're experiencing right now. Ouchies.
Investing, it is ultimately a necessity, but you got to keep that emergency fund accessible. It needs to be cash parked in your savings.
It's time to increase your money knowledge. And the How to Money podcast is here to bring the wisdom. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search How to Money, and start listening today.
For more information about contests on this station, go to sportssd.com/rules.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile. Go to Cox.com. We're down to 2. A pair of games left for the purple and gold. Friday night, it's back to downtown LA after the mini roadie as the Lakers
into the front court. Alley-oop to LeBron for a circus dunk.
host the Houston Rockets. Lakers game day gets started at 7:15 with a 7:30 tip-off on your home of the Lakers. San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
What do you think the teacher's going to look like this year?
It's the story of my life, Sammy. I am hot for teacher every single day. It is iHeartRadio week, only on Wheel of Fortune. Tonight, you at home have a chance to win an exclusive VIP experience at our very own iHeartRadio Theater in Los Angeles. Watch Wheel of Fortune. Check your local listings. See Ryan Seacrest giving out some great prizes on the Wheel of Fortune, and you at home can win too. You get the hot for teacher reference?
I love it. One of the great, if that music video, actually, when Dave drives away at the end, he actually ends up hitting a car with all the kids in it. It's like a legendary story when they get out of the school.
What a song, man. It's a good one. All right, as we go on throughout the week, we kind of keep a tally of what's been going on with long shots, which we do every day at 12:45. Last week couldn't have gone better for anyone. I think I ended up winning like $600 last week thanks to long shots, thanks to Sammy Long. This week so far, 0 for 2. Today's a Wednesday. We're at the midway point. It's hump day, as Paris reminded us on YouTube. Happy hump day. Happy hump day to you, Paris.
Yeah, thank you, Paris. Happy hump day to you.
It's time for Sammy to turn things around. We could still have a positive week if we go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with winners. Sammy Long, hit that button.
Let's see. Underdogs? Nah, that's old. Those with a less than good chance of winning? Too wordy. Wait, got it. It's time for Sammy's long shots.
So this is for daily fantasy sports. If you have one of the apps, you can go more than or less than on them. I prefer Prize Picks. Sammy uses Prize Picks to make these picks. You could use promo code Fletch and get a $50 bonus. But Sammy, where are we starting with today?
You know where we're starting. Start with the game of the day. Lakers, Dallas, in Dallas, the return. So a lot of players on both sides, not just Luka. Anthony Davis playing the Lakers for the first time. Max Christie also in the deal, another member of the Lakers that were shipped out in the deal. So we're gonna have it. We actually have 3 players from that game in this parlay, and we also have one from the night game, which is the Kings and the Nuggets. So you get to veto one, Fletch, per usual. Number 1, we're going to go a little bit differently, though. Anthony Davis, more than 10.5 rebounds. People want to hit the point total. It's at 27.5. I don't know that the Mavs have enough scoring from everywhere else with the Kyrie Irving out. The Lakers are going to be doubling him all game, but I do think he gets a lot of rebounds. The Mavs' big advantage in this game is they have 3 bigs. They have AD, Gafford, and they got Lively, where the Lakers really only have Jackson Hayes. And if Rui Hachimura is out for the Lakers, we don't know that yet. That could be a problem because they like to drop him down on centers because of his size. So we're going more than 10.5 rebounds. I think AD cleans up the glass tonight. Very motivated. More than 10.5 rebounds.
I like it a lot.
Max Christie coming off the bench for the Mavs, 8 points more than. The Mavs team really ticks with him and Najee Marshall. Max Christie and Najee Marshall kind of are the juice off the bench. Marshall averages about 13 points a game. Christie averages about 11. This is where the Mavs can kind of make their hay tonight. They're going to need it because the Lakers guards are much better than theirs. PJ Washington's basically the only guy that can maybe match the Lakers output from the starting guard spot. But with Kyrie Irving out, the bench is going to have to carry it for him. I think whoever wins this game is between Najee Marshall, Max Christie, and then Gabe Vincent and Connect. I think that's where the game's really going to be won outside of the headlines. But more points for Max Christie, more than 8. Number 3, Luka Doncic. Instead of going points, because I feel like that's the easy number, I think Vegas wants us to bet that. They want us to bet more on Luka points. I'm going to bet more on Luka assists, more than 8 assists in this game. I think that he's gonna get active on passing. I think Reeves and LeBron could have a massive game in this one because all the focus is going to be on Luka. Going to be an emotional night for Luka. I think they're also going to be trying to, even with all the bigs for Dallas, going to be trying to kind of throw some lobs, get Jackson Hayes going early in this game, and try to get some of these bigs in foul trouble. So I think assists for Luka, we're going more than 8. Now, night game.
Can I point something out real quick?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
He hasn't done that since March 31st.
Exactly. And that's why it's going to happen tonight.
Ow. Okay.
Zach LaVine and Nikola Jokic. This is the night game, Sacramento, Denver. A lot to unpack with this game. Denver fired Mike Malone, fired their GM. This team's kind of in flux. They still are the 5th seed, which is crazy. They could end up the 3. They could end up the 8. But a lot going on with this. And the Kings have been playing quietly really good ball recently. Sabonis and Zach LaVine have really been meshing well. Everyone kind of left Sacramento for dead when they traded De'Aaron Fox, but Zach LaVine's really entered the lineup really well. So we have a fun combo bet because the Nuggets don't play any defense, and Nikola Jokic is basically the only guy that has to score for this team if they want a shot to win.
Scoring like 50 points a game right now.
Literally.
So insane.
53.5 points on the combo for Jokic and LaVine.
I like that a lot.
LaVine is the primary scorer for Sacramento, and Jokic, again, there's been a lot of reports. Apparently, Mike Malone and the GM were frustrated with the lack of rust minutes. Malone wanted to play him. The GM didn't. So a lot going on there, but I think Jokic is going to have a big night still because he's that guy. So to recap, Anthony Davis, more than 10.5 rebounds. Max Christie, more than 8 points. Luka Doncic, more than 8 assists. Zach LaVine and Nikola Jokic, more than 53.5 points. Fletch, veto one for me.
I think that is a great lineup the way it's designed. I really do. I don't know that I have a straight veto. I have one that I like a little bit better.
Okay.
Instead of Luka assists, because he might get a little greedy tonight.
Okay.
10 field goals made for Luka.
Okay, I like that. All right, we'll flip that one out.
That's the only thing I would flip.
No, I like that. I like that because 10 field goals made. I think the point number's a little bit high considering the Lakers' big 3. They like to spread around a little bit. I like that because I think he's going to be very motivated tonight after getting ejected last night. Going to want to prove a point. And He also has played the Mavs before, so I don't the emotion's going to be there, but at least he's played this team because the first time he was very, very emotional, was chirping the bench. So
now,
I like
if there was one to veto, I would say Max Christie because I don't know much about him. 8 points feels low.
I like that one. I think he's going to hit that.
I trust you. Hashtag faith in Sammy. I love the Zach LaVine, Nikola Jokic one combined because I feel like Nikola might just get it on his own. He might have one of those nights where
he literally
goes
might.
out
My thing with Max Christie, why I like that one is because the Lakers traded him when he was really kind of popping off for the Lakers. And I think people are forgetting of the Max Christie aspect of this, obviously, because he's not Luka or Anthony Davis, but I think he's going to have a big night off the bench.
All right, if you wanted a Padres update, the score is 0-0, top of the second inning. Vasquez looked good in the first. Padres threatened in the first, but they could not get anyone home. Our boy Gavin freaking the sheets. He freaking the struck out with bases not jammed, but runners on first and third. So that's the Padres update. Score is still 0-0. Hopefully the Padres can figure out how to get a win today, because like you were talking about yesterday with that Lakers and Thunder game, that was almost a scheduled loss for the Lakers. Now, that's not how it ended up playing out, but a lot of times on back-to-backs like that, you would consider that one that the Lakers could afford to lose heading into a matchup with Dallas. Not how it played out. Everyone was trying their asses off in that game last night. But today very much feels like a day where you could look at the Padres and be like, oh, you got the B squad going. You got a couple injuries. Whatever. One loss in Oakland this early in the season.
To town.
Who cares, right? But I don't know that that's the position they're in because of how freaking good the NL West is. This is going to be a competitive regular season. You're going to have to fight to get one of those last wild card spots if you can't overtake the Dodgers for the division. By the way, Dodgers, not like they're playing great baseball right now.
Yeah, Dodgers having some, again, pitching injuries. Blake Snell on the IL with shoulder inflammation. They brought up Robleski.
Freddie Freeman slipping in the shower.
Robleski had a really tough outing yesterday. Landon Knox going for the Dodgers. They're getting going in 15 minutes today.
They left that Robleski guy in way too long. Like, he gave up 8 runs, and they just put him back out there.
Well, I think it was kind of, they'd used the bullpen a lot on Sunday against the Phillies because Glasnow went out early. I think they were just kind of like, let him finish it out. Let him do it. Get through most of the game if they made a little bit of comeback. But yeah, they definitely, Dave Roberts did not increase Justin Robleski's confidence from leaving him out there that long yesterday.
If there was ever a day for Randy Vasquez to go out and just completely shut down a A's lineup that's not that great to begin with, today's that day. If Vasquez can go out and just pitch an absolute gem, save the bullpen a little bit, and then you just need like Manny Machado to hit a home run. That's it. Easy. Padres, if they could sneak away with a win here in a series win against the A's, that would be freaking awesome.
Fletch, switching topics a little bit. Did you see this that just came down about Jalen Milroe attending the draft?
I did, which is a little bizarre. So he's not really thought of as either a first or second round pick, but he's going to be showing up at the draft this year. He accepted the invite.
Right. So it makes me wonder because the Steelers are the team sitting there in the back end of the first round that need a quarterback. There's odd signs with Rodgers. Is he coming? Is he going? There's reports every day about how they're like, we love Aaron Rodgers and the communication's good, but they're not signing him. And Jackson Dart is flying up boards right now. And we all know, we saw this play out with the Ravens when they traded up and got Lamar. Teams, the back couple picks of the first round become super valuable because you get the last year on the rookie deal before you have to pay him. So you see a lot of teams trade up to get him before they get him in the second round. You see players likely wanting to go in the second round over the first round, actually, because they get to their second deal quicker. You wonder if Jalen Milroe has a promise from someone. Is it Pittsburgh? Is it someone else that he's going to go? I mean, we might be seeing – everyone says the quarterback class sucks, and Cam Ward's going to go. Shador's going to go. And now all signs are pointing to Jackson Dart maybe flying up boards, and now Milroe going to the draft in Green Bay. I don't think he goes to sit there after Will Levis did it a couple years ago.
Yeah, I was about to say, are we about to have a reverse Will Levis where Will Levis showed up, didn't get taken? Jalen Milroe, could he show up and actually get taken when no one thinks he will?
I think because Milroe has more upside than Levis does. Like Levis,
crazy athletic. He's won a lot of college football games. He's played a lot of college football games.
And big games too.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I could see a team taking a flyer on him. I mean, you look around of the quarterbacks of a year ago, and I don't think that this is that draft class. I don't think you're getting a situation where you got 3 guys starting and playing really well, and then one guy coming in halfway through the season and Drake May, and some people say he had the best rookie season of them all. You know, I don't think you're going to see that with this year's draft class, but if a Steelers do end up signing an Aaron Rodgers, it still makes sense for them to draft a quarterback here.
Right, especially because the Steelers are never, unless they're going to pull a mega deal to try to go up and give away 3 drafts were the stuff to go up in the top 5. This team is too good for the next few years they're not going to get a pick in the top 5. If they ran out Mason Rudolph every game, they would have a decent record because the defense is so legit and the receiving core is great. And the offensive line's coming along. I think you got to take a shot and hope you hit on Dart or Milroe or one of these quarterbacks. You wonder maybe a Rams. Maybe a Rams. There was they got Stafford back, but there was kind of the rumors of, is he going to retire? Are we going to see the same things next year? Do you take a
There was rumors that you might trade Stafford this offseason.
Trade Stafford? Do you take a shot on a Milroe or a Dart? I don't know, but this is hell. Even Will Howard's there. I think to a lesser extent, he was Ohio State's quarterback, but he did win a national title. But I think this draft is going to surprise us a lot more than we're thinking.
And now we're already starting to see it. The Buffalo Bills, number 1 team in all of the NFL coming into next season. Sammy loves that talk.
It's the Buffalo Bills win the offseason every year.
All right, we'll get back to the NFL draft coming up at 1:15. We got some news and notes on that. Coming up next, though, Mike Abram will join the show at 1 o'clock, talk some Masters, get you ready for this week in golf, the biggest week in golf of the entire year. We're talking golf. Coming up next, San Diego Sports 760.
Don't wait until it's too late. If you think you have a water leak, contact Cable Pipe and Leak Detection. They have state-of-the-art equipment and will find your leak the first time. CPL Detection is the leader in locating water leaks and underground utilities and has been serving homeowners and businesses now for over 40 years. No job is too big or too small. Cable Pipe and Leak Detection does it all. Call Cable Pipe and Leak Detection today at 1-800-450-LEAK or go to cpldetection.com.
Today's Marketers Report, Erica Taylor, Chief Marketing Officer of Genentech, weighs in on audio's ability to reach any audience.
Everyone is listening somewhere, somehow. So it's a great way to take something very precise in what we're trying to do to reach patients with something that I think we can all agree is somewhat broad in reaching many, many different audiences.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia can get more people to hear your message than anyone else. For better results for every budget, visit iHeartAdvertising.com.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low 5s, saving her over $1,000 per month and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 619-207-4336. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. Get all you need for Easter hosting, spring get-togethers, and more with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. From Easter basket goodies to fresh florals, getting everything the same day is easy. Open the Target app and bring the magic of the season to your door with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. Visit target.com/circle or the Target app for more details. Subscription required. Same-day delivery is subject to terms. Applies to orders over $35.
When you visit the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, the way you see the world begins to change. You realize that the more you encounter amazing species, the more you can't imagine a world without them. San Diego Zoo Safari Park. See conservation from a new perspective.
The Rocket Man has landed on iHeartRadio.
Hi, this is Elton John, and this is iHeart's Elton John Radio.
Every hit, every deep cut, and the behind-the-scenes stories from Sir Elton himself.
It became my first ever hit.
From the anthems that made history
I hope you don't mind.
to Elton's own picks, all commercial-free, including his new song with Brandi Carlile, the soundtrack of a legend. Search Elton John Radio on your iHeart app to listen now.
KGB and KGB-FM HD2 San Diego. #1 on your car radio preset.
And on the new and improved iHeart Radio app.
We never sounded so good.
This word is sponsored by Mothers Against Drug Driving. Vasquez and the Padres are currently in the bottom of the second. It is 0-0. Vasquez 3-2 count with one on. Blade is up to bat. Luka Doncic will be making his return to Dallas tonight as they take on Anthony Davis in the Mavs. This will be Anthony Davis' first time playing the Lakers since being traded. Both teams have massive playoff positioning on the line. That game tips off at 4:30. The Lakers are currently 4.5-point favorites. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit MAD.org.
The following takes place between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m.
Now it's time to enter the Fletch Zone.
It's hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760 with all overreactions out of our system. We did that in hour number 1. If you want to find it, you can catch up on the podcast anytime on the free iHeart Radio app. Just search the Fletch Zone. Ben Fletcher and Sammy Long, we're with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. A lot going on here in hour 2. Mike Abrams is going to join us here in a second to talk some Masters. Coach Mike Vrabel, who I know Sammy likes to say the Bills win the offseason every year, and they do in terms of the media. But Mike Vrabel might, or the Patriots themselves might actually be winning the offseason with installing Mike Vrabel as their new head coach. We got some great new info on the Patriots head coach for this year. We'll share with you in about 15 minutes. But right now, we did want to step aside for a second and talk some Masters betting odds, because today is the day, folks, to get them bets in. Sammy, where are we looking?
So these are some from prop bets. You can find them on different sites, and then Prize Picks, of course. There's a lot of good stuff on there. Here's a fun one, though. Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy, both to finish in the top 10, including ties, is currently plus 130. So they don't think that is going to happen. Fletch, would you lean a certain way on that?
I don't think plus 130 is a good enough number. You think about this field that's going to get whittled down to 50 over the next 2 days. I think it starts around 80, and then it gets whittled down to 50 for the final 2 days of the tournament. All right. Look, if Rory chokes, he could be done with this thing by the time Saturday comes around. Scotty Scheffler absolutely is going to finish in the top 10. I could say that almost with certainty. Rory McIlroy, total wild card. He's been playing better golf as of this year, but the Masters is a different animal, man. There's always somebody in the top 10 that nobody's ever heard of, and then all of a sudden, they're talking about him all the time. Augusta is different from every other golf course, and just because you could drive a ball 340 yards, which Rory can do, doesn't mean you're going to have success at Augusta.
Yeah, it's tough because
plus 130 also is not a good enough number.
Yeah, it's not a great number, but I'm excited. I was watching an interview with Rory today. He was talking, and they're doing the practice round with their kids and everything. But it feels like if he could just get the one, the one that's evaded him all this time, his status as an all-time golfer would just shoot through the roof. It kind of felt like, not just making a Chiefs comparison, when Andy Reid never had a ring. He had all the accolades, all the stuff. He finally got a ring, and he just shot up the coaching charts. It feels like Rory, if he gets one. And your kind of heart breaks for him. I know Rory's kind of polarizing, but there has been countless times that he should have won a tournament or should have done it. And if he put it all to bed, if he won the Masters,
he's really good at coming in second place.
He's the best. He might be the best ever at coming in second place.
I saw one of those betting accounts on X yesterday putting out, like, going into this week knowing I'm only going to bet with my brain, not with my heart. And then the picture is Rory McIlroy just kind of sneakily looking at the camera with a little smile on it. People love Rory, and I get it, man. I'm a Rory fan. I like him a lot, but he's burned me too many times for me to take that 130. What's next?
All right, sticking with San Diego State, Xander Schauffele. Oh, we're always rooting for. So top 10 finish, including ties. That's one. He is currently plus 150.
I like that better.
To do that, you like that. You like that bet. Do you think he finishes in the top 10 or even higher?
I think there's a real shot Xander wins this thing. Came in second in 2019. Xander's always kind of hanging around the top of majors. He got 2 major wins a year ago. He got the gold in the Olympics a couple years before that. Like, I think Xander is due for the biggest tournament of his life, showing up big and playing really well. Because what does Xander have that not everyone else has? He has incredible control with his long irons. This course actually sets up really nicely for Xander Schauffele. Which, how many people can you say that about Augusta? If Xander's putter's working, he's in the top 5, I can almost guarantee. If his putter's really working, Xander might win this thing.
So Xander is currently plus 2,000. He's tied with DeChambeau, Aberg, Morikawa, Rahm, and McIlroy and Scheffler.
Ludwig Aberg is every woman's favorite golfer.
All right, Scotty is the current favorite at plus 400, followed by Rory at plus 650. Would you take Scotty and Rory versus the field?
Scotty, Rory, or the field? The field.
The field?
The field.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think Scotty's gonna 4-1 odds? I mean, it's insane that he's this much of a favorite at 4-1.
I know, and that always makes me scratch my head a little bit. Like, I look, Scotty's amazing. He is playing some of the best golf we've ever seen. Like, since Tiger was on his dominant run, now he would still have to play another 4 years at this pace to even come close to some of the Tiger records. But this is an unpredictable golf tournament, and with Scotty, I like the field. If those are my odds that you're giving me. Anything else? Any fun ones like pimento sandwiches or something? You know all the rules about the Masters for the patrons? You're not allowed to call them the audience, the patrons.
Oh, really? I saw something about the prices are through the roof.
Oh, it's for a 4-day pass right now. You're looking at $25,000 on the secondary market. But the rule, you cannot bring your cell phone onto the golf course. If you do, you're kicked out. No refund. If you have a cell phone even with you at any point during the
Imagine if that were to happen though, on the final hole, someone yells out, because golf is such a etiquette version game, and all it takes is one person to screw that up. It does seem kind of fascinating. I mean, I'm sure they get their ass beat on the way out of there, but
it would their own version of Disney jail underneath the greens at Augusta.
I'm I kind of think Morikawa is a nice bet down there.
That's what Rich said on YouTube yesterday.
He's tied 3rd before, he's tied 10th, and he's tied 5th. So he's kind of been hanging around, winning a few of these tournaments the last few years with the Masters. Could be his time. I know you're talking about Koepka earlier. There feels like a lot of guys. The Masters is such a fun time to make money because there's such long odds. If there's someone that you like, throw a few dollars on them because of $5 will pay you a lot.
And then there's guys who always hang around at the Masters, right? The Adam Scotts of the world, who he won it 10, 15 years ago. Doesn't really compete all that often, but when Adam Scott goes to Augusta, for some reason, it just works for him. Freddie Couples is going to be out there playing again. I love seeing Fred the first couple days. It's not like he does well, but the only big bummer of this year so far, Vijay Singh, who's also been a mainstay at the Masters. He'll show up because he won, and once you win, you're in for life. Vijay Singh did withdraw as of Monday, which that's a bummer. For the very first time, Sammy's going to be entering into my family's pool for the Masters.
I'm very excited. I'm locking in my picks. I'm doing some research.
Are you going to do one entry or multiple entries?
How does the Masters pool work? I was going to ask you about this. So you pick a winner or what?
No. So basically how it's listed out is there's 5 tiers, and these tiers all have players in it. And so it's like the top 5 or top 10, 15 golfers in the world are all on the first tier, A, B, C, D. And as you kind of keep going, you have to pick one person from each tier. And then you also pick one amateur, whoever's the low finisher, and you pick one veteran returnee. And the winner can get up to $2,000. This is a lot of fun every single year, but we'll keep an eye on all of those as we patiently await to be joined by Mike Abram, who's going to be our golf expert on the show today. Maybe give you some long
Carolina at Pinehurst, and what a dominant performance in the majors Xander Schauffele had last year. So there is a lot of stories out there. And one of the things that's incredible is how the Masters in Augusta National always gets the course in perfect shape. Doesn't matter what kind of storm hit. Doesn't matter what happened. It's remarkable. I almost went out there this year. One of my good friends, Nathaniel Crosby, 1981 United States Amateur Champion, and just happens to be the youngest son of Bing Crosby. Nathaniel's always a guest out there. Used to be able to play in the par 3 tournament as a former United States Amateur Champion, but he gave me a little report. Says you can't. It's just as good or better than every time he goes out there. So
yeah. So Mike, you have the privilege that Sammy and I might never get, and that's you've been able to kind of walk the grounds at Augusta before. What about this course makes it that much above and beyond every other course in America when it comes to this tournament?
The one of the things that does, well, number one, you cannot see on TV, and you might have heard it before listening, but maybe some of your listeners haven't. When you walk onto the site, how hilly it is. It's ridiculously hilly, like legit, extremely hilly golf course. And you're shocked when you get there to say, oh my gosh, it's like this thing is just way overinflated hilly than what I've ever seen it on television. The other thing is that it feels like I could play this. There's not, with the pine straw and the lower rough, it's not super penal for a drive being offline. It's very subtle and difficult as far as the greens are concerned. I know there's been a lot of things about how, gosh, if you were a 10 handicap or a 15 handicap and you got to start every hole on the farthest spot on the green putting away from the hole, could you win the Masters? And some people say, no, you couldn't. The greens are so subtle, so tricky, so difficult, so fast. But what that really plays into is it being a second shot golf course, because the nuances of the shaping of the greens and the areas of the greens that reject balls away, that have balls, if you have too much spin, roll all the way back off the front. The subtlety then of the way they mow the grass in the fringes, it's always mown against you. So it makes it difficult. You have to be so precise when you're chipping, because the blades of grass are growing against you. So if you just hit a little fat, it grabs. And then because you're worried about hitting a little fat, you might catch it a little thin and the ball chases way by. There's all these little nuances of it. While it would be, and I haven't had the fortune of playing it, but walking it, but it would be super, it's reasonable for a higher handicap golfer to make bogeys and double bogeys, as if it's not rolling quite as fast as they normal roll it. The way that they designed the greens were for, and a lot of your listeners are familiar with Stimpmeter. When the PGA Tour maybe 12 on a Stimpmeter, that's how far at a certain height off this little device, it's called the Stimpmeter, right, that the ball rolls, right? And it's how many feet the ball rolls. And 12 is super fast greens on the tour. Well, the Augusta was designed for like a Stimpmeter of about 7.5 feet instead of 12 feet. And sometimes Augusta gets up to 13, and they're pure and they roll pure, but it makes it such a great test for the best players in the world today who bomb it as far as they do. And Augusta National, the club, making ridiculous amounts of money every year, is able to buy more real estate, is able to push the boundaries, lengthen holes, change characteristics to make them still challenging with today's golfer, today's equipment. So that's the thing. It's ever changing, the course. It continues to give all the different challenges to a great player. And I think one of the great things about it, Ben, that's so fun for golfers to watch and also for great players to play in, is that this is the one major championships that's at the same venue every year. And so you go back to Augusta, Georgia every year, and you get to experience that special thing walking through those pine trees. Originally, it was a nursery. It's just a beautiful, beautiful spot, along with being an unbelievable test of golf.
Mike, who do you think has the most to gain from a win at the Masters on Sunday?
Oh boy, who has the most games? Rory McIlroy. I think being 11 years since he's won a major championship, having battled so hard, playing really extremely well right now, I think it's Rory. I think he's got the most to gain. Kind of co-favorites right now would be Rory and Scotty Scheffler, but there's a ton of players playing well. Someone who's just absolutely beating the ball up at the range, and he always does. There's some new stuff out there where they're measuring. You're able to see every shot every player's hitting on the range. You can go on Masters.com and see that. And I think Bryson DeChambeau hit 275 balls yesterday.
That was like Max Homa hit damn near 300. Bryson hit 270. It was insane. These guys, their shot charts.
Well, and here's one of the crazy things. Bryson at the end of his session was hitting drivers. He was at a ball speed of over 185 miles an hour. And Ben, he was hitting his driver more accurately than you or I would hit our 8-iron. It was, the pattern was so small. It was like a big giant blanket you could throw where his drivers were hitting. It's insane. But I think Bryson has a good shot. Remember, Lucas Oberg last year came in second. And you know who's really hot coming into this? 54-year-old Phil Mickelson. He's playing really good golf over on LIV. Really good golf. And a multiple green jacket winner. He's smiling, thinking, I got a chance. Older players have always fared pretty well. Of course, no one of that age has ever won, but older players have always played pretty well. This is the final Masters for a couple players. Bernard Longer, who says he can't compete anymore, but one of the oldest players in the field, 65-year-old Fred Couples.
Yeah,
he's been working on his distance, Ben. He says, I don't think I can win. But I think I can make the cut. And he would be the oldest to ever do it.
If Freddie can make the cut, man, that would be all the internet talks about for about a month. If
right?
Freddie can get in, that'd be a lot of fun. Any long shots? We got about 60 seconds here, Mike. Any crazy long shots that you've seen?
I don't think he's a long shot, but Joaquin Niemann, from over in LIV, he is a phenomenal player. He's amazing.
What about Cam Smith?
It's just tough to tell if the LIV, how the LIV players, because it's not the same competition as the PGA Tour. And my other one, who's won a Masters, who is so up and down and gets so red hot that I always pull for, is Jordan Spieth. He knows, I guess, he's played well, even when he's up and down. He's shown some flash the last number of tournaments. He hasn't put 4 rounds together. Who knows? Maybe he'll catch.
How about Cam Smith?
Oh, Cam Smith. No one putts better than he does.
Yeah, and he was on fire with the majors right before he left PGA, but it seems like his name's just disappeared.
He's fallen off. He's has he rested on all those on that $100 million or whatever he got from LIV? Maybe. It's really tough to say, but don't sleep on Colin Morikawa either. I mean, I know I'm picking some pretty high up names, but Morikawa, he's on top of his game right now. He hits it dead straight, hits the iron straight up in the air, super accurate with ball placement, and who's got the hot putter.
Yeah. All right, Mike, appreciate your time every single year when we get to chat about some golf. And stop talking so bad about Dairy Creek, man. That's a great little course.
No, it was a gorgeous day, man. Hey, have fun with your brother Torrey, and I can't wait to hear the call and watch the play at Augusta.
Yeah, we'll talk to you in a couple months, Mike. Appreciate your time as always. There he goes, Mike
Thanks,
Abram. You can check him out. TGA is his company, and they're doing all sorts of cool stuff with golf, but Mike is absolutely dialed in. All right, we'll take a quick break here on San Diego Sports 760. Allen Sliwa coming up in about 15 minutes to talk some Lakers and Mavericks tonight. But coming up next, we're going to stop off and give you a quick update on what's happening out in Sacramento, Las Vegas, Oakland with the Padres. That's next. San Diego Sports 760.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Hazards on the South 15-1 before Valley Parkway, a car bumper in the middle lane. Then at Poway Road, the right carpool lane, metal debris. West 78 past Sycamore. Caltrans has that right lane closed. You're still from Rancho Santa Fe. Mark Zegan, San Diego traffic.
Is that a weird rattle in your HVAC system or the sound of expensive guessing? At Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air, we'll give you 3 real options, guaranteed, or your visit is free. Nobody wows clients like we do. AndersonPHA.com.
The Good Feet Store, improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time. Visit goodfeet.com.
Download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code Fletch when you do. You're going to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 entry. Trying to give you $50. All right. We were just talking about it. The biggest golf tournament in the world gets going tomorrow. Prize Picks, I believe in a lot of ways, was designed for golf. It's daily fantasy sports, but in golf, you can go birdies or better on a single round. You can go strokes on a single round. You can do individual matchups between different players who don't even have to be playing in the same group. Prize Picks has everything locked and loaded for this tournament, which begins tomorrow out in Augusta, Georgia. You know which one I'm talking about. Download Prize Picks today so you can get all set up. And no matter what your sport is, if you care less about golf, but you're locked into every single baseball game here in San Diego, Prize Picks is for you. If you could care less about baseball and golf, but guess what? This professional basketball season, the way it's ending in the West, you are locked into that. Prize Picks is there for you there. Download the app today. Take advantage of the promotions, the Taco Tuesdays, the Flex Fridays, and start winning some real cash on Prize Picks. If you got hot takes that you want to turn into real hot cash, nowhere better to do it than with Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use promo code Fletch. Get the $50 bonus and start running your game all season long on Prize Picks.
Hello? I'm a Marine.
No matter how you served.
My buddies from the Army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
No matter what you're going through.
I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job. I feel so stuck.
We are here for you. If you or a veteran in your life is experiencing thoughts of suicide, dial 988, then press 1 to reach the Veterans Crisis Line.
Hey there, Aztec fans. Be sure to step up to the plate and come out to support your San Diego State baseball team as they continue their season at Tony Gwynn Stadium. Join your Aztecs when they host the Fresno State Bulldogs from April 11th through April 13th. Tickets starting at just $7. For our full schedule, promotions, and tickets, simply visit goaztecs.com. Again, that's goaztecs.com. And we'll see you this April for Aztec baseball. Go Aztecs!
Your home team, San Diego FC, plays here on San Diego Sports 760. Saturday night, it's a trip to Colorado when it's SDFC.
And it's going to be a goal. El Capitan, El Jefe.
Versus the Rapids. The SDFC kickoff show starts at 6 with a 6:30 game time.
On your exclusive home of San Diego FC.
San Diego Sports 760. America's finest sports station.
Hot and so hot and so hot.
San Diego Sports 760. Always fun to catch up with Mike Abrams. Some good stuff on the Masters, which gets going tomorrow from Mike. Coming up tonight, 6 o'clock, right here on San Diego Sports 760. It's SDFC Midweek Live. Hear from the head coach, Mikey Varis, as well as interviews with players and coaches. Find out the latest club and MLS information hosted by Darren Smith. SDFC Midweek Live every Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, right here on your home for SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. Before we give you an update on the Padres, have you seen Mike Vrabel's new rules for the Patriots players?
I have not seen this.
Mike Vrabel, no hoods on in meetings, no cell phones present in meetings, and if you're late, you're benched.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts when Drake May doesn't show up.
It's the Patriot way.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if when they're trying to get into the playoffs, if Drake May shows up 5 minutes late if he's not playing. But yeah, I get it. Are you trying to do the Deion thing, trying to establish the culture?
He's doing the Bill Belichick thing, I think what he's doing.
Yeah, Patriots quietly building something up there. I mean, that's a Drake May, definitely the least talked about rookie, but really came on at the end there. And this guy they paid Stephon Diggs way too much money. But they're probably gonna get a receiver. They needed someone to catch the ball. I mean, Kayshon Boutte should not be a number one receiver in the NFL.
If the Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl, I think AJ Brown absolutely would have been a Patriot. Would have gone back to his old coach Mike Vrabel, but now it seems like he's happy again. So we'll see. But with the Patriots, have you ever heard Ornberger's story about being late to a Patriots team meeting?
I've not heard that.
So he got locked out of his house or something and couldn't find a way to get back in. And so ended up being late to get into his car, was going to be late to the meeting. Instead of calling Dante Scarnecchia, who was the offensive line coach at the time, he decided to purposefully get into a car accident on his way to Gillette Stadium and have that be his excuse.
That is legendary.
He swears it's true. I don't know. I think he just got in a car wreck, and then he had
I can see Rich doing that. See, was it just a fender bender?
Yeah, he said he purposely rear-ended the closest car to him.
He just had to prove something.
Because he was so scared to go to Bill Belichick and say, I was late because of this.
Here's the thing, though. Anyone in Boston would have just driven him to the stadium if they would have asked.
Probably. That's a great point. That's a great point.
Like, they would have just been like, hey, I play for the Patriots. I mean, can you – oh, no, I'm not going to take you to the game.
There's more to the story. Like, he might have been, like, locked out and in his underwear or something. I can't remember all of it, but the highlight was he got in a car accident
Rich.
on purpose to avoid being late for a Belichick meeting, which is just classic fear of the old Empire hoodie Bill. But no hoods, no cell phones, and no being late or else you are benched. That is Mike Vrabel's new rules, the new Patriot way for 2025.
Are you surprised how we've seen that Cam Ward is now just this surefire number one pick? Like, it feels like and now it seems like Travis Hunter is going too.
Do you believe it?
I believe the Cam Ward thing. I believe that. I don't know that I believe Travis Hunter yet. I think that it's a little too.
Have we not been shell shocked enough in terms of the NFL draft to actually believe what everybody is saying is definitely the truth?
But that's why the Travis Hunter thing I don't buy. Because Travis Hunter, this comes out, 16 days before the draft? 17?
Here's my problem with Travis Hunter. He's too small. And if he wants to play both, I get it. He is an athletic specimen, man. He's incredible. He really is. But 6'1", 185? And you want to play both ways? I mean, either a slot receiver or like a slot corner.
But Cleveland has lacked star power. That is what when is the last time Cleveland?
Myles Garrett?
From a receiver or quarterback standpoint.
Nick Chubb, running back?
Yeah, but are we, I don't know. I'm saying
Josh Gordon.
Yeah, well, yes. No, I'm not even kidding around. Josh Gordon, when he was playing, was unbelievable. He just messed up his career. They tried to do Johnny Football. He was a buzz. They tried to go get Deshaun Watson, who we thought who was a superstar when they got him.
Man, if they would have held on to Baker Mayfield, who knows? We'd be talking about the Browns very differently.
Right. Travis Hunter brings you a star power that honestly teams in Cleveland don't get. Just being honest, they don't get players like that. It seems crazy to be passing up, and I wouldn't pass up Travis Hunter. I would take him, but Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett will be crazy together. This draft is going to be really fun because I think we're just seeing a lot of smoke screens coming out. All of a sudden, Jackson Dart, they're saying, is he the third best quarterback in the draft? Is he better than Shador? Feels like there's a lot of teams pushing some smoke screens. And Shador, all this stuff keeps coming out about him sliding, about how he's not a real pocket passer, how he's not going to be successful. I feel like Shador is going to be going top 5.
We got Allen Sliwa coming up in 5 minutes to talk. Lakers and Luka ejection. If you want the Padres update, 1-1 top 4. Padres just got a runner on. Lockridge got a hit. Lockridge also made an incredible play in the outfield, throwing out a runner at home. Lockridge playing center today for the injured Jackson Merrill. But Lockridge made a fantastic play out in center field to save a run a little bit earlier. It's 1-1 top of the 4th. Coming up next, it's Allen Sliwa. Also, my response to that, if I was the Tennessee Titans, no way I'm not trading the first overall pick. I don't know why they are thinking that just picking that quarterback and Cam Ward is going to fix all their problems.
I'm calling Pittsburgh.
I'm trying to get 3 first-round picks over the next 3 years for the number 1 overall
I'm calling Pittsburgh and saying, you have a team that could compete in the AFC. Do you want a quarterback, the most surefire quarterback in the class? Give me your next 3 drafts.
Easy.
And if you're Pittsburgh, would you not consider it, considering how loaded the team is? You are never
counter it with 2 firsts and a second.
I wonder how much value, I know we got to get out of here, but how much value the number 1 pick has this year, because it's not just a surefire number 1 pick.
If it's Abdul Carter, I think a ton of value. I think I'd easily give up 2 firsts and a second.
I feel like this foot injury is all of a sudden a little bit more.
That's also being overblown right before the draft. I think people are trying to tank his stock a little bit. Like, I just don't believe anything right now. I really don't. Until I see it out of Mel Kiper's mouth, or until I see definitive Vegas odds, I don't believe a single thing.
Travis Hunter is the most talented to be the number 1 pick.
I don't. Yeah, but he's got demerits in his size. All right, we'll get to Allen Sliwa. We'll get back to the NFL draft coming up at 1:45. Allen Sliwa talking Lakers coming up next at San Diego Sports 760.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again. Because more people are listening to the radio and iHeart today than they were 20 years ago. And only iHeart Broadcast Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, social, any other media. Even twice as many teens than TikTok. And that reach means everything. Just think about the universal marketing formula. The number of consumers who hear your message times the response rate equals the results. Now let's get those results growing for your business. Radio's here now more than ever, and iHeart's leading the way. Think radio can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, podcasting, and radio, where the reach is real. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time, just call 844-844-iHeart and get radio working for you.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 619-207-4336. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
San Diego Sports now.
This sport is sponsored by eBay. Padres in action right now. Bottom of the fourth inning. Vasquez on the mound. It is 1-1. It's an 0-1 count with no one on and no outs. And the Lakers, Luka making his return to Dallas tonight. They will be taking on Anthony Davis and the Mavericks. This will be AD's first game playing the Lakers since being traded. Both teams have massive playoff positioning on the line. That game tips off at 4:30. The Lakers are currently 4.5-point favorites. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for. From smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain, get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
San Diego Sports 760. It's the Fletch Zone. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. John and Jim will take over then. By the way, I was just sent some audio from John and Jim's YouTube show from last night. It makes me very uncomfortable. We're going to discuss it.
I saw something about that, but I hadn't watched it because we were on air.
Very uncomfortable. We will discuss in 15 minutes what was happening last night with John and Jim because it's very strange. Very, very weird. Jim Russell said something. I'm sure they're going to talk about it on their show today.
Jim says something weird.
Dude, it's uncomfortable as hell. We'll get into it in about 15 minutes, but stay tuned. Right now, Allen Sliwa joining the show. Follow him on YouTube at Hoops Talk with Allen Sliwa. You can give him a subscription there. He's breaking down everything across the NBA, focusing on the Lakers. Allen, what's up, my man?
What's going on? Thank you for having me on, bud.
Of course. You golf guy at all? You watch the Masters?
No, to be honest, I probably get out and actually golf myself once a year, realize, yep, that's not for me. And then and then I don't find myself sitting and watching much golf.
Oh, man, the Sunday of the Masters. Give it a shot this year, Allen. I bet you'll love it. But that's fine. We don't need to talk golf with you, Allen. Let's talk about Luka getting ejected last night. What was your biggest takeaway from that game that the Lakers were fighting in? 1-point game, Luka gets ejected. They get their asses kicked the rest of the way. What was your biggest takeaway from last night's ejection of Luka Doncic?
Yeah, that's it, right? Like, there's not really much else to talk about. You can't really talk about a game between the number one team in the West, number 3 in the West, going down to the wire. It was a 1-point game when Luka got ejected. Shea was having himself a game. Lakers maybe potentially sweeping the Thunder on the road for 2 straight games. And then we got to talk about that. really just an awful, awful decision from the referee. Listen, I'm not here trying to justify that Luka doesn't complain, because he does. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that watch Luka play, or maybe they're Laker fans or just NBA fans. It's not my style. I wish he complained less. But you can't throw out arguably the best player on the floor in that type of a game because you thought he was saying something to you and he wasn't. And then in the postgame, Jared Vanderbilt had said something that the ref had said something along the lines, I'll listen to anybody. I just don't want to hear from him. He's talking about Luka. Luka got obviously 2 technicals from the same referee. It really was just an awful way to end that game. And unfortunately, there's so much negative news about the NBA, and there's so much, guys are load managing. They're not playing enough. Lakers could have sat everyone yesterday. They did it. So here you are in a regular season game that actually was meaningful. Everybody had their eyes on. And the ref ended up upstaging everybody else. I thought it was awful. I really did.
Allen, looking forward to tonight. Obviously, Dallas, Luka making his return, but the Mavs got a lot of bigs with AD, Derek Lively, and Daniel Gafford. How do the Lakers offset this with the amount of bigs that they have?
It's kind of weird. I'm not still kind of trying to figure out how the Lakers have been able to do this, but bigs really haven't been an issue. It could have been Nikola Jokic of Denver. It could have been Ivica Zubac with the Clippers. It could be, I know this is kind of more, let's use the Thunder as an example, Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. Size really hasn't been an issue for the Lakers. Not to say that they have not completely loaded up like the Dallas Mavericks have, but if you're going to have that much size on the Lakers, that means you also got to play defense on Austin Reeves, on LeBron, on Luka Doncic. So Lakers will just try to expose them and make sure those bigs got to come out on the perimeter offensively and defensively. Give guys like Jared Vanderbilt, Dorian Finney-Smith, Jackson Hayes. Some of these guys are undersized, and they've done a fantastic job of just hanging with some of these bigs down there. I think they'll take a similar model that they've had so far this year.
Less than a week left in the regular season this year. Insanity in the Western Conference. You got 5 teams separated by 1.5 games. I know I've done it in the past myself, and the NBA gets a lot of flack for regular season. This is about as good as it gets here, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing. And I'm not the right person to ask about the NBA because, to be honest with you, I just love basketball in general, and I'm finding myself watching games. But if you're a little bit more of a casual fan and you see that each one of these games have so much on the line based on seeing, the only thing we know in the Western Conference is that OKC is 1 and Houston is 2. We got no idea what 3 through 8 is going to be. The playing tournament's still figuring itself out obviously to an extent. And then you feel like the league's wide open. You feel like anyone could come out of the Western Conference, or at least there's 3-4 teams that can definitely come out. I think it's a good position for the league to be in. I'm not telling you that the league is perfect because I know they're not, but it's been exciting to watch, and I think it's going to be a fun final stretch.
So, Allen, Lakers in the 3 spot, Clippers in the 4, Denver 5, Golden State 6, Memphis 7, and Minnesota 8. What do you think is the best and worst matchup for the Lakers in the first round?
I think Warriors-Lakers would be a really, really long series that can probably go either way. I'd give the Lakers a slight edge, but I think Golden State can be a headache for anybody. They're playing good ball, and the only reason why they're sitting where they are in the standings is just because they were, I think, right around 500 when that trade happened. But we know what that team is when they're healthy. Championship pedigree, you add Jimmy Butler. I would like to preferably avoid the Golden State Warriors in the first round. I think Memphis is all over the place. If you're going to have a team that their problem is not talent, their problem is they're just not connected. You just fired your head coach, Taylor Jenkins. I think Denver all of a sudden becomes a lot more interesting, but I would prefer avoiding Nikola Jokic if I can. But certainly the Lakers have had some late success against Denver, and now without Michael Malone as their head coach and Jamal Murray, you're not sure if he's going to be healthy. But I think of all the teams, I would take Memphis, and then the teams I want to avoid is I think the Golden State Warriors on the top of that list.
Hoops Talk on YouTube with Allen Sliwa. You can find him there. Give him a subscription for this, the rest of the NBA regular season into the postseason. Allen, you look at LeBron James. He still looks like he's 30 years old, if not even younger than that. You look at the job JJ Redick has done coaching the Lakers so far this season, and I think he probably gets a A-, A+ even for some people with the way he's been able to handle everything as a first-time head coach. But do either of those things turn into problems in an elongated postseason series JJ's inexperience as a coach, LeBron's age, are either of those going to be a factor in this NBA postseason, do you think?
I'm going to give JJ the benefit of the doubt. I've had a few people on, some good NBA guests that have been in the front office before, and they've talked about whatever you coached in the regular season, it's a whole completely different animal come postseason, which I completely understand. I'm not trying to, but I think the one thing that I'll say with JJ, he's been a unique coach this year. He's been throwing a lot of curveballs, guys in and out of the lineup. Obviously, what happened at the trade deadline, D'Angelo Russell in the beginning of the year, then it's Dorian Finney-Smith. AD and Max Christie get traded. Figure out a way to get Luka in here. Trade Dalton Connect. No, bring him back. There's been a lot, I think so, and he's not on a franchise where the lights aren't bright. It's the freaking Lakers, right? Everybody's watching the Lakers are talking about him. I feel good about him. I do. I think the decisions that he's made on the basketball floor, I think his relationship with the players, I think his competitiveness, I don't feel like he's married to anything. Will admit if he's wrong on something. Will try something that didn't work. Well, I'm not going to put, you see a lot of coaches in today's NBA, or really just kind of coaches in general. It's like, well, this is my strategy and I'm sticking to it. I'm not worried about J.J. Redick in the playoffs. I think he'll be fine. LeBron, here's the beauty with LeBron. If the Lakers are able to, worst case scenario, and I guess they still got to figure out the seeding wise, there's a very, very good chance Lakers are going to get 1 week off before the playoffs start. As long as they obviously avoid that play-in tournament, they're in a pretty good position. We'll see what happens tonight. If they take care of business against Dallas, I feel really good they'll end up with a number 3 seed. He's going to get about a week off. Back-to-backs, forget about it. That's done. Travel schedule is going to be a lot easier. I actually think, he had a span of 2 weeks he had off in March, which is not really normal or typical. I think LeBron's already gone through probably the toughest part of the year. Now, hopefully, his body holds up, and I think some things will play to his advantage.
Allen, real quick, what are your thoughts on Michael Malone and Taylor Jenkins being fired this late into the season?
Yeah, I think the only thing that I can make sense of it and it reminds me a little bit of the Taylor Jenkins thing as well with Memphis. The only justification I would say is this. The front office probably had already made a decision. Michael Malone, he's gone at the end of the year. The general manager, he's gone at the end of the year. The team is already sliding backwards. They're already losing games. Clearly, it sounds like there was some issues internally in the front office with the coaching staff, and I'm sure maybe there's a little bit of a divide within the players. Well, I'm with the GM, I'm with the head coach. The only thing that I could think of is they figure all this is going to get wiped out anyways. We're not making a deep run in the playoffs. Let's just blow this thing up now. Maybe it wakes up some of these players and they're able to go on a run. Maybe it doesn't. But either way, I feel like they already knew the writing was on the wall, which is why they did it. I still wouldn't have done it, but obviously Denver and Memphis thought differently.
We haven't really talked about the East at all with you, Allen. Outside of the Cavs and the Celtics, anybody that can make any sort of noise?
Yeah, you're kind of, I think on paper, I think the Knicks are wildly talented. I think they got a really, really good roster. I think they got a good makeup, but it doesn't always work on what's on paper. The Celtics have owned the New York Knicks in the regular season. I know the regular season, we'll see what happens come the playoffs, but I don't really see that changing. Can Milwaukee maybe make some noise? I don't have all that much confidence. There's some other young teams out there like the Indiana Pacers, the Detroit Pistons that are having great seasons, but I think for them, it's kind of like they're in the mix. They're each trying to just get to the second round, and then that would be a fantastic season for them. And give Cavs all the credit in the world, but I think everything still runs through the Celtics. I really do. And I'd probably still say everything runs through the Celtics in the league.
And how about these Padres, Allen? They get to the best team in baseball record-wise yesterday, and then everyone gets hurt all at once.
Yeah, I know. That was tough to watch yesterday. And I would say this, they obviously got off to a phenomenal start, and we'll see how some of these players, I know Jackson Merrill, you got Cronenworth, you got Tatis, but I think Tatis day-to-day, let's just hope. For me, it's more about that pitching holding up. And guys like Dylan Cease and Michael King, you feel like there's no margin for error. Those guys got to be great all season long. Obviously after that, there's question marks. I just want to see the Padres just stay in the mix. And they got off to such a great start. And the surprise of sweeping Atlanta and then obviously handling the Guardians the way they did. stay in the mix. And of course, health is going to be a big part of it. That's how it goes with all these Major League Baseball teams, with all sports. But I still like the position that they're in. Just pitching is the one area where I always feel like if you think you have enough pitching, you got to have much more than what you already have. And I think the Padres fall on that list.
That's absolutely right. Allen Sliwa, follow him on YouTube at Hoops Talk with Allen Sliwa. You can catch him there, putting updates every single day. Allen, appreciate your time as always. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, pal. Thanks, guys.
There he goes, Allen Sliwa, one of the best covering the NBA. We will check in with him before the postseason gets going. Padres update. It is the top of the fifth now, 1-1. Padres are threatening with one out, and our boy Gavin freaking the sheets up to the plate. We'll give you an update on what the score is when we come back. It's San Diego Sports 760. We'll close this thing out. Get you ready for John and Jim coming up next.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover.
The freeways are flowing pretty well. North 805 to East 94 connector, there's a driver changing a tire on the right shoulder, very close to a lane. West 8 at Waring Road, wood debris, second lane from the left. I'm Mark Zekin, San Diego Traffic.
Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Hi, I'm Nicole Donnelly, and for 34 years, I've owned and managed Miramar Kitchen and Bath alongside my husband, Martin.
We treat every project like it's our own home, and we'll be with you every step of the way.
When you choose Miramar Kitchen and Bath for your kitchen or bathroom remodel, you're working directly with a husband and wife team who care about every detail. Because this isn't just business for us, it's personal.
At Miramar Kitchen and Bath, we believe your experience matters. That's why our experience matters.
Miramar Kitchen and Bath.
Contractor's license 657333.
Are your money skills total trash? Well, you are not alone. Personal finance ignorance is as American as apple pie. But don't fret. The How to Money podcast is here to help you improve.
Think, Matt, if your emergency fund was invested, especially given the volatility we're experiencing right now. Ouchies.
Investing, it is ultimately a necessity, but you got to keep that emergency fund accessible. It needs to be cash parked in your savings.
It's time to increase your money knowledge. And the How to Money podcast is here to bring the wisdom. Open your free iHeartRadio app. Search How to Money and start listening today.
Hey guys, it's John and Jim for our friends at the all-new Jamul Casino and Resort, the Players Place.
And at Jamul Casino, there's endless dining options that just got better at Tony Gwynn's. They're going over the top with crab, shrimp, dynamite salmon, and more. Plus, don't miss the carving station for those who like a little turf with their surf.
Don't forget about Monday Night Live, Smashing Easter Eggs. Join us every Monday in April for a chance to win big with 10 winners every hour at 7, 8, and 9 p.m. and a chance to win up to $25,000. The all-new Jamul Casino and Resort, the Players Place.
News trending now on AM 600 Kogo.
From the Kogo News Center, I'm Veronica Carter. Check your flight status. Fog caused a flight stoppage at the San Diego airport this morning. The federal government wants to fine people $1,000 a day for illegally crossing the border. And better get the check in the mail. Property taxes are due tomorrow.
These stories and more on San Diego's News Radio 600 Kogo and Kogo.com. Brought to you by San Diego County Credit Union.
SDCCU's checking accounts are awesome. Check your balance anywhere with the mobile app and use your debit card everywhere you shop. For a limited time, open a free checking with eStatements account in branch, and you'll receive a free ticket to Legoland California Resort. Find out more at sdccu.com/Legoland.
Brought to you by Novartis, founding partner.
in history with that Rob and me. My team. Been had a little horsey
San
named
Diego
Paul
Sports
Revere.
760. Couple of fun stories. One kind of scary story coming out of the NFL right now. Let's start with the fun, shall we? Because in the fun, there's a Coyote and Roadrunner movie that has been tabled now for like 15 years or something with the guy from SNL. Is it Matt Forte? Will Forte, hilarious actor.
MacGruber.
That's the one. It's been tabled now for some 15 years or something. It finally got bought back from Warner Bros. And they're going to release that movie in 2026. Very excited about that. Sad story out of the NFL right now. This is developing within the last 4 minutes. Mike Florio has a story up about it. Tyreek Hill has had the police called on him today by the mother of his wife after he slammed a laptop on the ground, and the mom said he was being very aggressive and impulsive towards her daughter, calling his wife her daughter. So Tyreek Hill dealing with some stuff right now. Police have been called.
Cheetah, what are we doing?
Back to the Chiefs, maybe?
Well, first off, before you start, everyone's innocent until proven guilty.
Of course.
If that's true, obviously that's extremely sad. And what are we doing, Tyreek? But
sounds like they're getting divorced too. That's also in this article from Mike Florio.
Yeah, well, which girl is this? He's got 10 baby mamas
within like the last year, right?
I didn't even know he had 10 kids because he had the one girlfriend, and then he had one during the one. He's had like 10 of them. I don't know.
Obviously not a funny story at all. But the breaking news of the day in the NFL is that Tyreek Hill has had the police called on him by the mother of his wife, who has been living with the couple for a while now. Hopefully everything's okay out there and everyone's safe. All right, update on the Padres, 2-1, bottom of the fifth. Padres scored a run in the top of the fifth, and hopefully they score a lot more here and can get out of there with a win. We started the show today talking about the injuries that the Padres sustained yesterday and how nice it would be for a shutdown performance from Randy Vasquez to kind of put the team on his back and be one of those stoppers. He's been very good through 4 innings, 4 1/3 innings. He does have a runner on base right now. Hopefully he can get out of the fifth here. And that's not Max Muncy.
Yeah, what?
Is there a Max Muncy on the A's that's not the Max Muncy we know?
He doesn't look like Max Muncy.
What?
So we have 4 minutes left in the show. John and Jim, as
God,
you all know.
we have to do this? This is so uncomfortable.
We're going to do it. John and Jim follow us. They're on from 2 to 6. You guys all know this. They do a wrap-up show where they talk about the Padres after the game. Go check it out.
They do it after every single game. They are wildly committed to this.
Now, I don't know what alcohol was being consumed last night by Jim Russell and John Schaefer, but let me just play a little bit of this. And you guys explain to me.
Here, we can pause and set this up a little better because this got DM'd to me about 15 minutes ago. I've since talked to Brent Sperry. I have found out that apparently Jim was talking all sorts of schmack about the Padres TV broadcast last night, and it devolved into madness. And so this got to a point where Jim was just losing his mind because John kept taking drinks of his water on the mic and it was making bad sounds. And then this is what happened.
He's very mouthy.
Dude,
he's like
Shilty has the wettest mouth.
Yeah, he's like this. Hold on.
Shilty has the wettest mouth from the mouth of Jim Russell. Now, I don't know what Jim's into, but I don't know that I'd be saying that.
It is true when Mike Schilt gets on a microphone, it does sound like there's a lot going on.
But they could have said there's a lot of saliva, not the wettest mouth there is.
Can you play that for me one more time?
Hold on, I gotta get it back. I tried to record it as a drop, but it was gonna. Oh, here we go.
He's very mouthy.
Dude,
he's like
Shilty has the wettest mouth.
Yeah, he's like this. Hold on.
John's demonstrating drinking
you
the
know,
water.
Oh God,
these are our coworkers.
I'm a little alarmed. I'm not gonna lie.
John sits here, right?
John sits there.
I'm worried about this microphone.
I wouldn't use Jim's microphone.
Get that away from me.
Jim's microphone. I don't know what's going on.
Jim's had a rough couple of days. Look, I guess he had like a April Fool's joke played on him that he just found out was actually a joke yesterday. Jim's had a rough couple of days.
What was the April Fool's joke?
He read some story about the what's the theme Belmont, the theme park. Belmont Shores.
Yeah.
That they were getting another Ferris wheel or something, and it was an April Fool's joke, and Jim fell for it and read the story on air, and then got clowned religiously or relentlessly, not religiously. But then Jim follows that up with Shilty has the wettest mouth of all time.
Shilty has the wettest mouth.
Like, is this going to become the new Jordan LeBron debate? Who has the wettest mouth of all time?
I would love for someone. I would love to go to one of the Padres press conferences and go, "Hey, Mike Schill, do you have a response to Jim Russell saying you have the wettest mouth of any MLB manager?"
Dude, this
Answer
is weird,
that question.
Jim. This is weird, Jim.
It's a little odd. All the listeners, if you tune in to John Jim, hopefully you do, just ask them about this on the stream today because it's a little odd that we have to share the studio with these guys. And I don't know what's going on from 2 to 6.
I'm uncomfortable. Do we call HR? Is that a thing to do?
Who is HR?
There's someone.
Is HR okay with talking about people's mouths?
The wettest mouth of all time. Direct quote from Jim Russell.
We're going to go talk to our program director, Mary Ayala, how she feels about this.
And John and Jim are right after us. If you want to load up the text line 70470, you can just talk about wet mouths the whole time.
It's just unsettling way to end the show.
Unsettling to say the least. All right, Sammy and I are out of here. We will be back with you tomorrow. We'll react to whatever happens in the final 4 innings of this Padres game. Plus, get you ready for all sorts of fun stuff on a Thursdays. Oh, and we'll have Masters in progress tomorrow. Stuff does not get better than this, folks. We'll see you in the morning or at noon tomorrow. San Diego Sports 760.
Look, there's feelings and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks,